And now write an example problem. Estimate the sum of 467 and 312. 467 and 312. Now please listen carefully, because this is really where I see a lot of people get confused. Oh, I forgot Eli needs to be a little closer to the board. What are we doing when we estimate? What's the difference between rounding and estimating? They're kind of closely related, but they are not the same thing. Estimating, Gary, is, well, yes and no. Guessing kind of implies that this is blindly just spewing something out there, and this is not. Okay? The difference between estimating and rounding. Peter?
Is that in estimating, you're like adding or subtracting?
Well, no, you could estimate with you when you multiply and divide. Difference between estimating and rounding. Alex?
Estimate is it's like a educated guess kind of. It's
Okay,
not
it's certainly an educated guess. In math, though, you're educating yourself by doing what, Calvin?
You're like rounding it to the nearest 100 or 10 and then you add it.
Okay, what you're doing when you estimate is you're making the problem easy enough to do in your head. Or do it quickly, as opposed to this. Now that doesn't mean I don't want you to show the work, because you would show some work for this. Okay? To do this, you look at the numbers you're working with, and you round those to what you think would be the easiest things really to work with, and be reasonable still. For example, 467, I would just say that's close to 500. 312 is close to 300, and their sum then would be 800. Now, what I see some people doing is this. Instead of estimating, they do the problem, and then they round their answer. Okay? Which is not what you're supposed to do. Okay? That would be if the book said, add, find the sum, and round the answer. No, when you estimate, even though you'll actually end up with the same answer for this, when you estimate, you're making the problem easy enough to do very quickly by just getting close enough. Okay? So don't do all the work and then round the answer when they say estimate. Round the first part so that you can estimate the answer. Another example of that would be this. Estimate this one, 29 divided by, or not that, 591 divided by 29. If I said to estimate that, what do you suppose you would change the problem to look like? Grace?
You would round both of the numbers and then
What would I round? What would I get them to be? What would you say 591 is?
600.
Good. And then 29 is,
30.
and then you would do the problem. 30 goes into 60 twice, and you get 20 for your answer. Okay. Estimating means making the problem simple enough to really do quickly. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do it in your head the whole time. Same thing with this. 29 times 31. Okay. What would you change that? If I said to estimate that, you would make those Lutz?
29 is 30 and 30 is 30.
Right. 30 times 30, which would give you 900. Somebody, was it this class that said, would that actually really be 900 because you're taking one away from one and adding one to the other? No, that doesn't work in multiplication. You can't do that. Was it, is that what you said? Yeah, DJ. No, you'll get something pretty close to that, but it doesn't. It does with adding. You know, if you had 31 plus 29, with adding you could do that. Say, oh, if I take one away from there and put it there, it's the same thing as 30 plus 30. That works, but not with multiplying. Those are some different rules with multiplying there, so that's good. All right, perfect. Any other questions? My voice is getting somewhat hoarse. Wait.